Adam's heart was pounding, and he felt sick to his stomach as he sat outside his boss's office, waiting to be called in, fully expecting to be told that he no longer has a job. His thoughts turned to his family. How is he going to provide? How are they going to cope with the rising costs of living? Suddenly his thoughts were interrupted by movement and conversation from down the hall. He looked over and saw his whole team standing before him. "What are you doing here?" he asked, feeling confused. One of his staff spoke up, and what they said took Adam completely by surprise. He had been working for this company for the last 5 years. Adam had always impressed with his attitude, work ethic, and most noteworthy, the incredible way he made people feel. A little over 12 months ago, an email was sent out company-wide. They were looking for a project manager to spearhead a team into a new venture. The job came with many perks, including a substantial pay rise. That night, Adam went home and discussed this opportunity with his wife. He told her, "I really want to apply, but I don't know if I can do this. I have no experience in management at all," he said. "I know, honey, but ever since I've known you, you've doubted yourself. Adam, if you could only see the potential in you that I see in you, you would never hold back. And besides, if you don't get it, you know we'll always be right here for you." Well, feeling much more confident, Adam decided to update his resume and apply for the position anyway. Days later, Adam sat down with an HR representative and the managing director for his interview. His natural ability with people was a great asset, and the interview went over really well. Adam left with joy knowing that he had took the leap. However, he wasn't expecting for this to progress any further. After all, some of the applicants had far more experience than he had. Much to his surprise, Adam received a rather unexpected email from the managing director, Mr. Donovan, just a few days later. It read, "Dear Adam, I really enjoyed speaking with you during the interview. You have impressed me with your attitude and results you have provided for this company in your current role. It is an honor to offer the job of project manager to you. Further details will be sent through in the coming days. If you have any questions, please contact me. Kind regards, Andrew Donovan." Adam could not believe this. He immediately phoned his wife to tell her the good news. Ecstatic, she proclaimed, "See, Adam, I knew you could do it. I've always believed in you." Upon hearing the news, his colleagues were thrilled, and they stood and cheered and clapped for Adam. Adam was so well liked by his peers, and he's always been seen as somewhat of an unofficial leader with them. Well, after the usual paperwork and meetings with HR, Adam was ready to start his new role. He had a team of 12, and their target was to research, create, and launch a brand new product to be ready to sell. He was given 12 months to make this happen. Full of nerves and excitement, Adam and his team got to work. They spent many hours working, during late nights often, but his team very rarely complained. You see, Adam's great strength was his ability to connect with people. Together, he and his team created an amazing culture. Everyone was safe to express themselves, safe to work, share, and give. The feeling among his team was that of trust and support. Now, this was not common during these types of projects. Traditionally, the pressure to perform was high, and as a result, an increase in staff turnover was noticeable. People were snappy or rude to one another, to customers even. You see, people just felt under pressure and unsafe. Things were polar opposite though in Adam's team. Well, not long after, COVID-19 hit and everything was turned on its head. The entire company went into turmoil as lockdowns were enforced. This created major difficulties and a great deal of added stress. Adam's company quickly had to make some major adjustments to their budget, which unfortunately resulted in several layoffs. Adam got word of this and quickly spoke to Mr. Donovan to see if his team would be affected. Mr. Donovan said, "Look, Adam, I hate to say it, but this has caught all of us off guard. Every team in the company will lose staff." "Well, how many people am I expected to lose?" Adam replied, feeling very concerned. "At this stage, Adam, about half your team will be gone by the end of the month," Mr. Donovan said. Adam just couldn't let this happen. So in an act of true self-sacrifice, he offered to take a pay cut to keep his people and said that they would deliver on their targets in 10 months rather than 12. Well, Mr. Donovan was not keen on the idea, but Adam persisted until he eventually won him over. Mr. Donovan told Adam that you were the only manager who was willing to sacrifice his own pay and put his own head on the chopping block for his team. And he said to Adam, "If you cannot deliver on your targets, it will be you who is fired. Are you sure you want to do this?" Without hesitation, Adam agreed. Full of relief and excitement, he went back to his team to tell him the good news. That moment was so beautiful, as his people cheered him and clapped him and hugged him and thanked him. Even though he had this extra pressure on him, he felt satisfied knowing he had done the right thing by his people. Well, the impact of COVID-19 was not over. Finances got even tighter, and Adam's team came under increased pressure. With less staff than ever, Adam's team was suddenly responsible for overseeing multiple projects with accelerated timeframes. Despite this pressure cooker situation, his team came together strongly in support of one another under the care of their fearless leader, Adam. This was not echoed in other teams as tensions continued to rise and more layoffs happened. Adam's team during this time of chaos managed to meet and exceed many of their targets. However, their primary objective was not met. Their original assignment to research, create, and launch their new product was not done in the 10 months that Adam had promised. When word got to Mr. Donovan, he was not impressed. He sent Adam an email that read, "Adam, the 10 months are up and you have not met your agreed upon targets. I want to meet with you tomorrow, 10 a.m. in my office to discuss your future at this company." Adam knew what this meant, and feeling completely exhausted and disheartened, he packed up his personal belongings and headed home for the night. The next day he arrived at work, ready to say goodbye to everyone. Adam didn't sleep well that night. He was deeply concerned about what this meant for his family and his team. How were they going to get by? What was he going to do now? COVID was here, and all his jobs seemed to dry up. These thoughts continued to run through his mind as he sat outside Mr. Donovan's office. Down the hall gathered 12 of his staff as they walked towards Adam. When asked why they were there, one of them said, "Adam, we know we didn't reach our target, and we know that you will likely lose your job over this. But we also know that you stuck out your neck for us, and you took a pay cut for us, allowing us to keep our job at the risk of yours. You've created an amazing workplace environment. I speak for all of us when I say we feel safe, supported, and we love our jobs. Despite the pressure and the uncertainty and the chaos and the layoffs, our team feels like a refuge. Adam, you are not our boss, but our leader and our friend. And we've decided to tell Mr. Donovan that if he lets you go, that we're all going to quit with you." Well, Adam could not believe what he had heard. You see, this story highlights the very best in all of us. And from this, we learn 3 universal truths that are incredibly powerful. Firstly, Self-confidence comes from the people around you. Now, when we hear the word self-confidence, we tend to look within to create this. The truth is, we need to look to each other for support. Think about it. Adam's wife was incredibly supportive of him. Adam gained great confidence to give himself a chance to apply for the job, because he knew even if he tried and failed, his wife and his family would love and support him regardless. She would be there to pick him up. He knew this because the truth is he would have done the same for her. Now think about your life. Consider that if you were invited to attend an event where the only person you knew was the host, and you went to this event, do you think that you would be the life of the party? Or do you think that you'd sit in the corner waiting for the host to become available so you could hopefully meet a few people through them? But consider the same situation, but this time you have your 5 most trusted friends with you. And you know that even if you embarrass yourself, and even if you mess up or do the worst possible thing, that your friends have got your back and you've got theirs. And when you go into this party with your friends, doesn't your confidence naturally increase? Because to have self-confidence, you need to be there for others and ask for help when you need it. Confidence is made from those around us. The second lesson that we learn is be the good that you want to see in the world. See, Adam, through his integrity, was the leader he thought was needed. His peers viewed him as an unofficial leader long before he was given this position of authority. As Simon Sinek says, leadership is a choice, not a rank. When you embody the values that you want to see in the world, in work, in your family, you inspire people to do the same. And in turn, this creates an environment where we can all be at our best. When people come together in this way, amazing things are possible. Despite challenges that are outside of our control, despite pressures from outside forces, despite what may happen, people like this will come together to find a way through. We need this more than ever in a world that is under pressure, when people are turning on one another through fear. Be the change that you want to see. Support the people around you, and don't allow the pressures upon you to control you. You are in control of yourself. The third lesson we learn is to understand your troubles, but focus on your blessings. In Adam's situation, life threw up several challenges for him, as it will for us. It's important to be aware and acknowledge these, but we cannot let these overwhelm us. Through the law of familiarity, we take for granted the endless amount of miracles we experience on a daily basis. Did you know our hearts beat 100,000 times a day for us? And we don't have to work for it, or prove that we're worthy, or pay for it. It does it to keep us alive. The sun, the rain make sure that we have food and resources, and beauty to utilize and enjoy, and fresh air to breathe. We have people around us who love us, and even when we're not at our best, there is so much at our disposal, so much to be grateful for. The best part is, when we focus on our riches, not our unrest, it's impossible for us to feel anxious or stressed or overwhelmed or worried. The best way to do this, to feel and fill up with gratitude, is through acts of giving and sharing. So make this resolve, that no matter what challenges you'll face, you'll be the good you want to see in the world, to create environments where confidence is cultivated in the people around you, and to focus on your blessings daily. by sharing with others, and you will grow the inner confidence and the inner strength that you seek. More importantly, you'll impact the lives of those around you. Thank you so much for watching.